Hi there, just wanted to give you a quick video summary on one of the cool forecasting tools that we use and help agencies forecast their cash flow. The tool in itself is called Float and it directly integrates with your accounting software, whether it be QuickBooks or Xero. Uh, what Float is as I mentioned, it is a cash flow forecasting tool and it enables you to see where your pitfalls or highs are when it comes to cash management. I'll just quickly run through the 5 or 6 areas of Float that will be most interest of yourselves. So first page, we've got an overview. This is currently in development, so it's the beta stage with Float in itself. But this gives you a really high level insight as to where the business is at and what's happening with the cash flow forecast. So as you can see, the total balance is zero. So this is pulls the data straight into Xero and says, this is your cash balance as it stands now. How many of your bank accounts have you included? So that might be you've not included your credit card or you've not included your petty cash account, but your main current account is included. Here you have a quick little graph to highlight what your lowest cash point is going to be over a set period of time. Along the right hand side, you've got the bills that are expected to be paid, but they haven't been paid yet. Your invoices that you need to chase, unreconciled items, and the progress against cash coming in. So how much have you forecasted versus what's actually coming in the bank, and how much in terms of your cash flow outlay in terms of what's coming out of the bank versus your budget or your management. So in terms of this gives you a great insight, quick high level figures. If you want to come in and say, right, I've got £800,000 in the bank, the lowest cash point is £1,000,000, I've got 24 invoices to be chased, and we're pretty much 85% under budget as of now in terms of cash outlay. So these are things that you want to be discussing and looking at on a day-to-day basis, and so it gives you that good insight. Once we work out into the cash flow in itself, this tab now tells you exactly what needs to be reconciled. So if it's not reconciled, what does that say? That obviously your cash balance here will be incorrect. So it's saying it's £800,000 at the moment, but once we reconcile that £15,000 in Xero, that will drop down to just under 800,000. In terms of your budget, so this is exactly what it would look like in terms of what you're budgeting in terms of sales coming in terms of the cash versus what cash is going outside the business. Now, with everything, data is key. So it's really important that we make sure that you understand exactly where your cash, how your cash is coming in, how your cash is coming out. So a lot of it is going to be, first, it's going to be a data building exercise, building a budget, seeing exactly what you want to spend and where. The more details you can get, the better. So Flow in itself has 2 ways being able to input budgets. So one being the spreadsheet, which is effectively plotting figures across the board. I wouldn't recommend using that because this just says a lump sum is going to come out this month. So it doesn't really give you the insight in terms of daily cash balances. So what I would recommend is using manual inputs. So for instance, imagine we had audit and accountancy fees, and you would create a budget in this manner. So you would create a budget, what the budget is called, fees, how much it is, £1,000, and it reoccurs this and future months every day on the first. Now, what that will do is it'll update your cash flow forecast, and therefore it'll tell you the daily balance. So on the first of every month, we know £1,000 is going to come out for accountancy fees, and you will use the same principle for everything else. And this gives you the real granular data that you need and to understand the daily cash flow balance. So that gives you the general overview. You've got the daily breakdown, and like I said before, if you've gone into manually input all the budgets with specific dates when you expect them to come in, then you should have a daily breakdown as to what the cash is. So you can reassess and check this. So on the 5th of July, at the end of the 5th, we expect the balance to be 1.2 million. When it comes to the 5th of July, cross-reference it against actual bank balance. Where has it changed? So it's all about reviewing and improving. So the closer you can align the cash flow forecast, the better, of course. So it's constantly reviewing, making sure, okay, we was out a little bit. Why was we out? These are the amendments that we need to make. So it's a constant thing that you want to be improving. The next tab is invoicing due. So this again directly pulls in through your accounting software, and you may want to be looking at and seeing exactly We've got the original due dates. You'll print in all your overdue invoices and say what's your expected date. So by default, what Flow will say is if the due date is gone past, it will automatically assume that it's getting paid on that day, being today, in your cash flow forecast. So what you would really need to do is review your debtors and come in here and say, actually, this due is going to be a specific date. The clients told us they're going to pay us on the 4th of next month. Set that new date and it will automatically update your cash flow forecast. The same principle applies to the bills. So again, you will make sure that all your purchase bills are in zero, preloaded, and again, you'll say the original due date when you expect them to pay. So that's generally how you manage the age receivables, age payables, and these are things that build your cash flow. So once you've got that right, you'll be able to see here, you'll be able to track against actual cash spent versus the budget, and vice versa. So you can run reports and do whatever is needed to be done to make the cash flow in the best possible position possibly can be. And then final tab is the insights. So here now you've got 6 areas that you can look at. So again, accounts to watch in terms of cash outlay. So here it'll give you insights as to we've set budgets. So imagine we had a marketing spend of 5,000, and if you're consistently hitting over £5,000 on your marketing budget, then it'll highlight it in this report. So for instance, we're saying here it's been over the last 3 months for wages, payables, page rent payable, etc. So these are things. So now this could actually form part, what's going on, how we budgeted correctly, are we paying too early, do we need to negotiate credit terms, etc. So these are the conversations you are allowed to have. And similarly in terms of the cash in, so it'll bring in terms of which areas that you set budgets again. So that might be you have different nominal codes for retainers, projects, recharges, and which of this cash inflow is coming under budget. So are there things that you're not selling enough of? Are customers paying later on projects versus retainers? What are the anomalies? And you can obviously tweak and amend and improve your cash flow. Accounts deep dive, budget variances, multiple scenario comparisons, and the overall cash in our balance. So yeah, there's various reports here in terms of what you can use to utilize and actually get the best out of your working capital for your business. And that's quickly a quick summary as to what Flow can do. What I found, I've implemented this in a couple of agencies, and the amazing thing with this is that constant approval, constantly reviewing, constantly changing, and adapting to the situation to get the best out of the system and the best out of the cash flow for your agency. And that's everything. So hope you enjoyed the video. Any questions, feel free to get in touch with someone at MAP. Thank you.